Well, good Saturday morning, everybody. This is my first Facebook Live. I just wanted to do a quick garden tour with you all and show you my garden actually from the live version and share that with you all. Also, today in New Mexico in Albuquerque is the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta that's taken place today. And unfortunately, I am in Rio Rancho and the balloons are way down there. I'm not sure if I can zoom in on them or not. I don't think this will let me zoom, but they're in the sky and it's really hazy today and breezy. Winds are out of the northeast today. So we're not able to see the balloons up here in Rio Rancho, but I'm hoping that as the week goes on, we'll be able to see some balloons that maybe come up this way. And if so, I'll do another Facebook Live to catch them. But for right now, they're down in the valley there, but you can barely see them. And I don't think I can zoom in. I don't think this lets me zoom in. So anyway, I wanted to just say good morning, happy Saturday, and give you a tour of the garden. This morning, where it is October, we're coming to the end of our season here soon, and we'll soon get some frost, and my blooms, everything, my nasturtiums here are all gonna go, and as well as my morning glories, which they're kind of the blooms are starting to dissipate a little bit there. But let me see on this side if we have any blooms. Yeah, a little bit. There's a couple up there up top. And it is breezy, so if you hear some wind, that's what's the wind noise. But anyway, I kind of just wanted to do a little garden tour and take a walk around and show you all what's going on. And the last bit of the season blooms. And here's that Cosmo. I put this picture out 2 days ago. And people, boy, really like this little Cosmo. So this Cosmo was just a stray seed, and I'll get right down to it, that planted itself between my wall and my patio. And I watered it all summer because I recognized the plant. I'm like, oh, that's a Cosmo. I'm going to go ahead and let that grow. And this is what it turned into. So these seeds will, fall. There's a little bee there. Look at that. And they will reseed themselves, and whatever falls in the nooks and crannies, I'm going to go ahead and let them do that and have the same thing next year. So I got some Coreopsis and my zinnias. They really had a hard time this year with the heat we had here in New Mexico. July was really hot, 100-degree temps, and then we had like hardly any rain, no monsoon season. I don't know what it is about this area of Rio Rancho, but I can look down in the valley and I see lots of rain showers here and there, but it seems like my neighborhood never gets the rain. So I do a lot of watering. I'm out here every night watering, but they're starting to come back. So I'll have them for a couple weeks until frost gets them. And then the mums. The mums are coming out. I have this white cluster of mums here that is kind of splayed out. I think I'm going to dig this out next year. It's kind of too close to this honeysuckle, and move it out so it has a little more space. And I have some nice plum color mums coming in here, so those are going to be blooming soon. I like that. I like the color with the catmint. The catmint's got that blue color, and then the nice plum color mums. And then I think that's Texas sage I have there. And I have a kiwi rose in that pot. And that, used to be a purple rose. And then the graft died. And then the Huey rose took over. And I really like the Huey rose. It's pretty. It's got the really maroon color blooms in the spring, but it only blooms once. But, I just kind of like the shape of it and the way it looks. So I leave it there. So... And then we get some doves. I have the little birdies that sit and they watch me when I'm in the garden. And I talk to them. And I'm sure my neighbors think I'm crazy. I talk to my lizards, I talk to my birdies out here. So we'll come over here. And my purple fountain grass, I've had it in this pot now. Let's talk about that. I've had it in this pot now for, I think, 4 years. And then I put it in my cold frame every year and I bring it back out and it does spectacular. And you can see how beautiful it is. It's just so pretty. I love the way it sways in the wind. And then I have some rosemary. And in this pot here, I did have a lavender that died. It didn't make it through the heat this year, but I do have some alyssum that's seeded. So the little alyssum looks really pretty in that pot. I'll leave that there. And then this is a view. You guys probably seen the picture I put earlier this week. It was of the sunrise. Monday we had some rain, and that morning it had I come out in the morning and the clouds were beautiful, you know, some reds and some oranges, and I took a picture here and you can see this is a stalk flower, and then I have my kind of orangey topaz chrysanthemums and then this little planter. And that's the thing, folks, you know, you don't need a big space to have a pretty garden. I mean, this is just an L-shaped planter that my husband and I built on this patio, and actually I have one on that side that mirrors. And then we have the benches here, and we added these end planters actually weren't in the plans, but we ended up adding these bricks on the top here because they were just going to be flat, and that way I could plant something in them. And so every year I put vincas in those. But as you can see, you don't need a lot of space to have a pretty garden. You can have a small area. This little bed here was full of, what was those? Asters. There we go. I couldn't remember. Asters, and they've gone by, so that's empty now. But this one's doing good with some color. So it doesn't take much, you know, to plant a few things. And then I do seasonal stuff, so it kind of all coordinates, where summer stuff, some fall stuff. That way you have constant color. And so this is a strawberry planter I planted, and I put some vincas in there. Vincas are awesome. If you got my newsletter, I talked about them this summer. They held their own this summer with the heat and the sun. Their green glossy leaves, their green leaves stayed nice and glossy. They deadhead themselves. So let me show you what I mean when I say deadhead. I don't want to move too fast so you get dizzy. But what I'm saying is, if you look here, you see the dried up blooms, and those will just flake off in the wind, and they just deadhead themselves. And the bugs don't bother these. I don't get budworm problems, no insect problems. They're awesome. You know, when they start out at the beginning of the year, they don't look too big. They're really small, and you're thinking, oh, those aren't going to turn into anything. But I actually have 5 plants here. I have 4 in each corner and then 1 in the center. And then as the summer goes on, they fill up that whole area, and they just provide color. They just bloom and bloom as long as I keep giving them a feed, which I feed them Miracle-Gro, the dissolvable granular stuff, once a month, and that makes them happy, and they love the full sun, and they did awesome in the heat this year. They didn't have any problems. So I'm definitely going to be getting more of those for my my corner beds for next year, because they'll last from spring till frost, and they do great. So over here I have the Indian blanket flower, and this is a reseed. This flower was actually up in the L planter last year, and a seed fell down and it started growing, and I didn't get many up there this year at all. But this one came, so I'm definitely going to collect some of those seed heads and gather those to have for next year to plant in my L planters. And then some coreopsis that's going by. And then this patch of cosmos I've had probably for 4 years now. It comes back year after year. This year it didn't do too well because of the hot weather we had. and that ambient heat coming up from the rocks. So I have weed paper down underneath. And let me see. You can see it's a real thick weed paper. There's kind of some dirt there too. But the seeds go down between the rocks and they start to germinate, and then the root makes its way underneath that weed paper somehow, and then they end up growing right up through, and they do really well. So I definitely had to give these guys a lot of water this year. Some of them died because usually this whole area is covered. If you look at some of my pictures from last year, you couldn't even see the rocks here. So, but I'll take what I can get at this point, you know. I think they still look beautiful, and they're not as thick as last year, but I do have all the colors, the pinks and the whites and the maroons, and I do use these in my wildflower artwork as well. I use everything basically that you see in my garden. I harvest, I dry, and press them, or I'll dry in silica gel and use them in my artwork. So I don't outsource my blooms for my artwork, for my resin artwork, or my dried flower stuff. Everything you see is that's here is what's in it. So and I take a lot of pride in that. So, and there's my copper wind spinner. You can see a lot of pictures. I like that. It really, I feel, adds to the garden. I got that from Wind and Weather. Oh boy, probably about 4 or 5 years ago. I don't even think they sell this kind anymore, but windandweather.com, they have a wonderful website. They got beautiful wind spinners. I also got another wind spinner. Let me pan down here to my shed, on the corner of my shed here. We'll come down here and take a look at I went too far. I don't want to lose connection. So, but you can see it there. Okay. So we'll take a walk over here. Okay, I don't want to walk way too far, then I lose my connection. I think I'm back on. Can you give me a heart or a like or something if I'm back on, if you all can see me? Okay. All right. Let me try again. Oh, there we go. There's a heart. Okay, we're back on. Good. Sorry, I started to walk towards the shed and I lost. I started to walk towards the shed and I lost you all. So I got to remember that the next time. This is my first Facebook Live. So I got to remember I can't go too far from the house. But anyway, so as I was saying, that this is the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta is this weekend, and there are some balloons. I don't know if you can see them way off in the distance there. Unfortunately, they didn't come up towards our way this year, or actually not this year, but today, due to the winds are out of the northeast today. So that pushes them south, so they don't come up this way. But hopefully, as the week goes on, we're going to see more of those balloons. And if so, I'll come out and do a live so you all can see them as well. But anyway, I was talking about the Vincas and how well they did through the summer. They're the ones, the superstars that survived the heat and the bugs and all that. I had flea beetle infestations, budworm infestations this year. They were really bad, lots of moths, and they did excellent. So Vincas are the way to go. Like I said, when you first buy them, they're not much to look at, but once they fill out, especially in containers, they just look beautiful. In fact, I have some white ones over here. And you can see those white ones, they have a pretty red center in them. And so, they just filled out this container, and then I have these pretty pink ones that have kind of a burgundy center to them. So they look really nice. And that zinnia was just a seed that was left over in this container from last year, and it just kind of grew on its own and just looks beautiful. I love when that happens. So just like the Cosmo over on the other side of the, coming out of the patio over here that we walked by before. And I said I took a picture of this, and people just really love this picture of this Cosmo and coming out and between my wall and my patio. I'll zoom in again so you can see. And that was just a stray seed. So anyway, we'll take a walk over here. I did go over this way earlier and kind of talked about this L planter and everything I have in it here. And again, we're dwindling down to the last couple weeks of fall, and pretty soon everything is going to start to go to seed, or we'll get frost, and frost will end up taking out the garden. So this is a rogue or a little stray double click Cosmo, a seed from last year, and this one grew. And I just let it grow. It just kind of went in that little crack there and decided that's where it wanted to be, and I let it do its own thing, and then it'll reseed itself again for next year. And then this L planter, I have some of the zinnias that we planted and some alyssum. The alyssum and zinnias, they all kind of stopped blooming during that heat we had in July, but they've all come back and are doing really well now. And then this little planter here, I have some Veronica in there that's trying to make its way. So let me come over here. I don't know if I come over here if I'll lose connection or not, but let me try. So this is my wisteria bush and my peach irises that I have pictures of those from the spring. Everyone really loved those as well. I got to clean out that bed, get some of the dead stuff out of there. And then I have a Vago garden, and the Vago garden, we do our veggies. So in the front here, you can see we have some lettuce, spinach, kale. That's all really coming on now that it's cooled off. Tomatoes are still coming, and peppers. So I don't know if you can see in here, but I do have some tomatoes in there. Kind of the net's in the way. And I have a stray avocado tree growing because we put avocado pits in our compost, and then the avocados start growing. So unless I put them in the cold frame, they're not going to make it through the winter. But this is my south garden. I call this the south garden. And we have the trumpet vine and boxwood, kind of more evergreens over here. I have a zinnia that's trying to still put out some blooms, and I have the mums. And I have arborvitae, catmint, some cosmos coming in, and delphinium still. So this is more of a perennial bed. I do put, like I said, some zinnias and cosmos that kind of add a little color. I have a crepe myrtle there. And then this Arizona walnut tree, I got this from the Rio Rancho giveaway a few years ago. And it's growing, and I think I'm going to get it out of here because I read that these could get really big, and I'm worried about like maybe foundation damage or pipe damage. So what I'm planning on doing is digging it out during dormancy and putting it in a nice big container and have it maybe as a container tree on my patio and see how it does like that. So on this side, let me open this up. I have my peppers. There we go. I got some peppers here I got to pick those today. So we did good. We had zucchini. And then even with the netting, the squash bugs hit our zucchini, and it was by about July, early August. So they were all in this bed. We got a ton of zucchini. I had to pull them We also had that flea beetle attack. That was crazy. Never dealt with that before. But everything bounced back from that. So I'm going to probably plant some broccoli in that other bed. Let's see if I can get some broccoli going and have some of that for winter and spring. But anyways, I just wanted to pop on. I've never done a Facebook Live before and just kind of wanted to say hi and see how everyone's doing today. And hopefully we'll get some nice balloons up here this week and I can get it on again for another Facebook Live and share all that with you. Also, I'm a big container planter. I love my containers. I love geraniums and zinnias, anything I can put in a little pot. I think it just adds so much to your garden and the quaintness of it. So anyway, all the birdies, they're over there enjoying the bird bath, and we enjoy having the birds here. They really love their little habitat, and it's nice looking out our window and be able to see them enjoying the bird bath and getting a drink and stuff. So anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful Saturday, and we'll talk soon. And thank you so much for your support and all the likes and comments. I enjoy your comments and answering any questions that you have. Okay. All right. Have a wonderful weekend. See you later.